Hello friends, welcome to a brand new project where we are going to build a complete app using React and GraphQL. Even the backend, the complete backend I will show. So it will be a great little app. Not that little, it will take some time to make because it's a medium range app. So let's get started with the app. So let me start showing my screen now. I think you're able to see my screen. So this is what we are going to make. Our client browser, React and Apollo will be there. So we are going to use Apollo at the client side also, and the server side, which will be Node.js, will have an Express app and the GraphQL server. Okay, and in the database we'll use MongoDB. Okay, using the hosted MLabs. So this will be like this. So, and once again everything is there from my blog site. So let's get started with the app. So first thing we need to do let me go here. We need to mkdir react GraphQL and cd into act react GraphQL, and then we'll make another folder. See, in this type of app in which server and client both are there, we should have both folders for server and client. So the client side will be in React, but that is the later part. dir server cd server, and let me clear it so that we can see it properly. npm init. Okay, package name is okay, version is okay, description is, you can leave it blank also. React GraphQL app, entry point, let me make it app.js. so app.js, this entry point is important, so make that. Okay, so get repository, I don't want keywords, I don't want author, I need why don't keep the author name. Also, it is also not required. The entry point you can give. Entry point is required because the way we are making it. Okay, license is there, yes, yeah, and the package.json will be created. Then what we are going to do, we are going to install Express, npm I Express. So now we have the package.json. So now we can start installing our packages. So we are creating a Node.js app first. So this is how we created. Generally whenever we work with Node.js, we start with npm init. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me go one back directory and start my VS Code. I'm going on back directory because in future I will have a client folder also here, but let me go in the server only because I have to start the server. I generally start the server and client from here, and if some additional packages are required, I install it from the VS Code. Okay, so let me make it big only for now. We can later on, because we are mostly going to work on the server stuff now, so later on we can do it. And see, so all the files are created. Okay, so here I will create a file app.js, and the thing is that this is very small, so I have to increase the size. I think this much size is enough. So const express equal to require express. Okay, const app equal to express. So we are using the express which we have just installed, and then app dot listen at 4000 comma an arrow function and clg listening at port 4000. Let me save it and let me go back here and I will do node app.js. So listening at port 4000 means everything is okay. So after that we will install one more thing. I was just showing it. If we keep doing like this, everything we change we have to restart the server. We don't need that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to install node.js, and node.js I'm requiring a lot of time. So one thing I will do, node.js I -g. So why I am doing this -g? Because I want it to be globally installed on my system. So globally installed on my system means every time I can use it. I don't have to install it every time, because this is a package. Nowadays I work a lot with the mon stack, and also there also I require the node.js. So you can check out my upcoming video also, where we are going to build a very good clone with mon stack. So I'm doing this. Why it is showing doing like this? Actually I don't know. Oh, the command is completely wrong. Actually it is npm, not node.js. Now it is also not. See what happened. I think I have to do it. Npm install -g node.mon. So you can do it in any folder. So let me go to again the server folder. No. React GraphQL server and node.js app.js. So now it is listening properly. So the next thing is we want to install some more things. So for that, as I told you earlier, I don't want to disturb this thing. So I will open the integrated terminal with Control J or Command J. And let me install it here. So I don't want to install it in the GraphQL folder. I want to go to the server, and then here I will install the dependencies for GraphQL. npm I GraphQL and Express. There is a package Express GraphQL. So these two I will install. These two got installed. So let me show one more thing. Whatever we are installing, it should go to this package.json, or else these three things we have installed: Express GraphQL and GraphQL. So it is okay now. And then we will create a new folder. Let me go back here. In the server we will create a new folder called schema. And here, just like with a mon project, you need to have a schema here also when we fix it with GraphQL. So the GraphQL, this is the server setup part. This will be and this is sometimes a bit difficult than what we do for when we create just a mon stack project with Express and Node. So this is, we have to set up all this things so that we can use those cool GraphQL queries. So the GraphQL queries when we use, they are very much means in a normal mon project, what happened, you will get all the data. So they're very much performance optimizing type of a thing in a project. In a bigger project that like I am working on a production project, it is very good. Means we are also using GraphQL there, because the data, if you use the normal REST API, actually a replacement for REST API, we would have got the whole of data. So it is like a, you'll soon see, it is like a SQL, and we can get a subset of the data. So it doesn't put pressure on the server, and the app runs perfectly. Okay, and not on the server, but on the front end to fetch that much data. So in a smaller application, it's okay to use the MON, but bigger application, when you're doing freelancing, you should go for it MON. When you're working on the enterprise, you should definitely go with GraphQL. Being an architect, I know these things, how this work. Okay, so let's get started. And then what we are going to do in schema, we are going to first const GraphQL equal to require GraphQL const GraphQL object type. Okay, spelled it right. GraphQL object type. Yeah, QL are also capital. Okay, and then I don't know why this happens nowadays. GraphQL string, let me GraphQL schema equal to GraphQL. So we are doing this string object destructuring. Okay, yeah, sorry. So after that, const book type equal to new. So we'll use this GraphQL object type. Okay, so we have just created GraphQL object type, and inside this we need to give the object whatever. We're creating a book app where you can browse the books, different books. So book is there, comma, fields, ID is, then we are going to have these fields in it. So once, so this schema I think is a lot similar to what we do in Node.js app. Also we do a schema like this there. Also here also we have like this type. So this is a required thing for any server-side app. GraphQL string, comma, name is also string. It's a practice. It's a very good practice to keep everything as generally as a string. Even time sometimes should keep as a string. We can change it later on. Gender, although we don't have a time here. Gender type will be again GraphQL string. Okay, so after that we'll have a variable const root query equal to new GraphQL object type, again new GraphQL object type, and this will be our root query, because soon we are going to have more fields here, like this book. We are going to have author also, so for that we require this. Okay, so name will be root query type, and again there will be fields, and then fields will be there, and then here a single book will be there, and inside the single book, wait a sec, type will be this book type. This variable which we have defined here, type will be book type, and args will be, so this boilerplate thing we do in a lot of apps, this boilerplate thing, so we need to follow this standard, means where it is there, created by the creators. So nothing much to explain in these things, what I found, but you should just copy paste these things. Okay, GraphQL string, because nowadays most of the apps are like this only. Half of the code are like something like a skeleton type of code which you have to copy, means all these big things. Mainly in Apollo world this happens a lot, I have seen that. So that's why sometimes people think it's a very tough, but it is not tough. But I will say it is not suitable for small projects. It is suitable for bigger project and bigger, or not even in bigger, or in organizations in which there is a lot of data are there which needed to be fetched. So this is the way to go. So if you are working as a freelancer, and if you want to make a project for a small client and you don't have much time and that needs the backend, so you go for a Monstack, it's very good, or even Firebase, it is much better and easier. Firebase with React, I recently created a clone, you can see that. Okay, so after that, module.exports equal to new. Now we have to do this GraphQL schema. So this is schema. Now, as with any Node.js app, we have to do this schema, and this query equal to, as you might have guessed, the root query which we have just created. So root query is using book type. Book type is defining all the fields which you are going to have, and then at the root query we are exporting it in this schema. Okay, so Control S. Let me see whether I have some error. No, see it got restarted, so we don't have to do anything. Okay, so now we'll go back to our app.js. Let me see one time whether it is working. My OBS, sometime I'm using a single screen, soon I have two screens, so it is an issue. Sometime I press some wrong button and something else started. Okay, so let's go ahead and import that thing which we have just created. We'll import that thing. Okay, so here you should do above this one. So in node world, everything should be in order, so it should be in order, and const ph GraphQL http equal to require express GraphQL. Okay, and then const schema equal to require dot, because we created a folder schema, so it is inside that, and schema will go. Let me have some space here, and then we have to use it, and be sure to have it after we have done this app express. Okay, app.use. So GraphQL, the thing with GraphQL is that it's always have one endpoint, Not like your get and post, which have many endpoints. It has only one endpoint. You have to query that. You are going to pass your post, they are known as mutation here, and the query everything here only in that the GraphQL comma GraphQL HTTP, then GraphQL HTTP, which we have just declared this, and we'll pass the object schema. We'll pass the object schema. Okay, so it is done. Let me save it. Let me go back and see if there is any error. Okay. HTTP is not a function. Okay, let me see once more. Control V. Okay, let me indent it a lot, indent it a bit, save it. Require express GraphQL GraphQL HTTP is not a function. Let me check it out. So as usual, I found the issue, and I found the issue on Stack Overflow as always. So not me, a lot of people might have get this issue, and this is a new issue because they have changed the documentation. Right now we have to do it like a named import. So what is named import? Actually, I think internally they have made GraphQL as a function, so they're exporting that function. So that's why, see, this guy was also getting this issue. So I did a Google and find out the solution, and then after that, let me close it. We don't need this anymore. And then I have put the curly bracket here, and it started working fine. Okay, so this is how we debug. After that, we will add some dummy data in our schema.js. So let me go back to the schema.js. As our database is still not ready, we have to do that MongoDB and all. So till the MongoDB and all is ready, we will put some data here. Okay, so this is done. So this is dummy data const books equal to, as usual, everything will be an array and object. In all the cases we have array of objects only, and whenever we are dealing with anything. So let me give my book name Foundation Gatsby project. And guys, my book is out, so if you want to learn Gatsby in a better way, I have built 4 complete real world projects in this book. Go ahead and buy it. Okay, so, and GENRE, gender, what will be the gender? Gender will be programming, because it's a programming book. Let me put the ID, then we have to put a comma. So this is my second book actually, and this is a real book again. So this will be launching soon, extending Gatsby project, where I created another advanced project, and then after that I have a advanced Gatsby project also line up, which will also be released soon. So these 3 books I have as an author, and these 3 are real books. First one is available on Amazon, the next 2 will be soon be available on Amazon and all other major platforms. Okay, so that's it. And what else we need to do? We have to come down here and code from the database. Right now the dummy data which we are getting, let us show that. Okay, so return books. What is this books? This books is this books array, books dot find item, and we're using the find, and item dot id triple equal to args dot id. So whatever we passed in the args, that id, it will be equal to book dot find we are doing. So okay, let me save this. Okay, now let me again see if some error is there. Okay, should keep on checking it. So in app.js we will be using an amazing tool of GraphQL. So for that we need to actually import it here, or else we will not be able to use it. So schema and just a comma and array phiql is true. Okay, so this we have to do, control save it, and now we can use this tool. Okay, so how to use this tool? Let me come back here and let me make it complete only. Okay, so what I'm going to do, our app is running on 4000, so I have to go there, localhost, not 8000. So I have a lot of ports on my machine, and then GraphQL, so only GraphQL. Okay, and one thing to notice is that this is not an GraphQL, and but this is GraphQL. Okay, let me increase the font size a bit. So this is our interactive browser where we can use the queries. So we already have something known as the books. So we can use the query to find the data of this data. Okay, so soon we are going to get this from database, but right now we have hard-coded it, so it doesn't matter. Instead of this, we will get it from the database. Okay, so how to do this? This we are now learning GraphQL, and book is there. So as you have seen, we have to pass a book ID here, then only it will give. Okay, so ID we know, ID 1 2, so ID we will pass, ID is 2. Okay, see, control spacebar will give me this nice thing. Control spacebar will show me everything which is available, and name, ID and genre we can do, and then hit this thing, and book is null. Okay, book is null. What happened just? Okay, let me go to the docs, root query, book ID is like this, then why it is not happening? And root query ID is string, and this book ID is again string. Let me this time debug it real time and let you also show the process. So this is it. Okay, okay, ID is GraphQL string, type is book type. Well, let me go through my code again. So GraphQL type, GraphQL string, GraphQL schema, and then this programming is okay. So why it is showing this as this color? Okay, GraphQL string, GraphQL object type, name, fields, root query, fields, book type, args, parent, return books.find, item id, and this. Actually, I don't see any issues here, and GraphQL we are using. So nowadays, why they're not giving the query? Okay, let me do one thing. Book id to name, id name. See, it is giving me error for this. Okay. Can I do this? No, I cannot do this. See, I have to use a double string. Let me check it out further. Actually, I got the issue. See, this I was passing as a number, but this is also string. Why this is a string? Because I am giving this IDs also as a string. So this was the issue, and I had gone ahead and did this, so it is coming perfectly. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so it is coming perfectly, and I can have a genre also, and so everything is coming perfectly. So after that, what we need to do, we will, okay, so wait a sec. We have to set our database also after this, so we go ahead. No, but before setting the database, we'll ask add, as I told earlier, we'll have another data type in our field type in our project. So that will be the author field type. So the process, it will be always similar as what we did for the books. So const let, okay, let it be let. Why it is let it be const, it doesn't matter. Let me check it, because the rule nowadays in JavaScript is that you should keep everything as const. So if it breaks, then only give it as let. Okay, so if you change something, you have to refresh it. Yeah, it is coming. 3. Yeah, it is coming. It is perfect. Okay, so this is done, and now we will have the author, and for the author we will have 2 more things. Okay, so QL ID, you can have this, comma. So these all types are in GraphQL. GraphQL IND. Okay, so these 2 we will have. Let me save it, and then let me have the author. Okay, so before having the author, let me do one thing. Let me add some more authors also. Okay, some more authors, because right now only I am the author, because I want some more authors. So I think I have those things here somewhere. Okay, so let me copy that, so that we have more authors. Okay, so the ID will be 4, ID will be 5, and ID will be 6. So now I have more authors. Name of the bin and the genre is different. Okay, so now I have more authors. So now the first thing we have is const authors equal to name of the first author is Patrick, RUTHFUSS. Okay, so this is the this is the name of the second author. I will put my name at the end, age 44, and ID will be, let's not do that mistake again, Control C, Control V. So we are having 4 authors, ID 1, 2, 3, 4. The first author is me. I don't know. Nabendu Biswas. So these are all real authors, all this, including me. 38. 1. Patrick Rufus. 2. Then 2 States is a famous book by one of my favorite writer, Chetan Bhagat, age 45. This, The Long Earth, Terry, PRADCHETT. Hope I spelled it right. Okay, 66. Okay, these are all okay. Then just like the book type, we'll have an author type. So let me copy, but I am actually afraid to copy because I always do a mistake, and when I copy like this, I keep the old one, but it's okay, it's a part of coding. Author type, new GraphQL name is author. So these things we have included, the new things we are going to use it. So ID, we can use this also, GraphQL ID instead of GraphQL string, GraphQL ID. So GraphQL ID we can use, it is similar to string. So name, and then the name will be string. See, and one more thing, age we have given numbers, not last. We could have given a string, it doesn't matter, but age we have given number. Okay, again I was making the same mistake, ID, name, and this should be age. Okay, I'm making it in the right thing. Author, yeah, author is there. So this is GraphQL and I and the int, GraphQL int, it is there. And then this, as I have told, this is, so we have made this. Now we will use it in the root query type, as I have told earlier. So where should we end it? Okay, so this fields is there, and after this two are get there. So I have this nice color coded thing. This I have got it from a very good extension. So that is the power of VS Code. This rainbow extension is also there. Let me show you people. I think this bracket color colonizer give me those nice bracket colors, and this indent rainbow gives me this nice color spacing. So these two are very good extension. You could have also installed these two extension. Okay, so let me come here, and then after that author is there, and the same type of things we are going to have here. So it's better to copy it, but again I am worried that I will make some mistake. Author is there, type will be this author type will be author type id. So id, we check anything by id. And then GraphQL is like the query language only, so it is not a string. id is not a string in our case because we changed it to this. Okay, so id is this. Okay, return books, no, not return books, returns this authors, return this authors, return this authors, yeah, return these authors. But find item.id, args.id, this will be the same, and then query root query is the same. And now let me go back to the GraphQL. Let me see whether we are getting it. Okay, so whenever we make some changes, we have to do this refresh. It is a must. Okay, so let me get rid of this and then AUT. So it is showing atlas is there, just this, it is showing, so it means I have the atlas id. Okay, so here id I have given, so I have to give this not a string like this, and then control space, this control space. If I give, I can take this control space page, I can take. Let me see whether it is working. Yeah, it is working. id1 is me, it is working perfectly. Okay, so we didn't did any mistake with the data types this time. So now we have to make the relationship between the book and the author type. So each book have an author, so that we will make this change. So right now though these two are separate entity, but we want to make the relationship. So this is something like what we have in the SQL. So let us do that. So after that, in the book type we have to go, and here in the fields, okay, in the fields we have this thing, and the fields only we will add this author type. Okay, so this book type we are there, and book type, and one more thing, the book type we can again let us make it this GraphQL LID only. Why to keep it as a string? Although we are giving it as a string, but we can make it as this. When there is data type for this, then why to use it? ID, name, gender, and after that we will give a comma, and author we will give, and then type we have to give is author type. So author type, this author type we have to give. Then see, we are having some of the code which we are having here, so we are doing this resolve code here. Okay, so this resolve code we are going to have like this resolve code we are going to have actually. Where we are, yeah, so exactly same type of code we are going to have. Resolve parent args, and return authors dot find item dot id, and here we are going to have something different, not item dot id. It will be parent dot author id, parent dot author id we are going to have here. Okay, let me save it. So the in the parent we are going finding the item authors we are going, and in the parent we are going and finding it. Okay, So okay, one more thing which we need to do here in the books. So where is the author ID? So author ID is not there. So author ID is this. So we have to create a field. Let me come here, author ID, and in the parent means in the book. So parent was the book. So here we have to go, and after the ID, comma, author ID is 1. Author ID is 1 because this is my book. Yeah, here also the author ID will be 1. This is my ID. Author ID will 1. Okay, then the author ID here will be 2 because it is the book of Patrick. Author ID will be 3 because it's the book of Chetan. Author ID will be 4 because it is book of Terry. So now it is done. Now everything is done. Now we can go back. Let me refresh it. Let me do again. Book is there. ID. To name, genre, author. Oh, I don't want it here. Author I'm taking, and then I can go inside it, and again I can take the name and age. Okay, now let me click it. Yeah, and I am getting perfectly everything. So book ID, let me show for perfect. So perfect, it is perfect. So now we will do the opposite because each author have books. In fact, each authors have multiple books. As you have seen, I have multiple books. Okay, so for that we have a new we'll first use a new variable type known as GraphQL list. We are using GraphQL list. We are using, and then we have to go down, and in the author type we have to go now. Okay, author type I'm in, and the GraphQL ID and all these things are there, and then after that a comma will be there, and now I need the books also. So type is new. So see, this is different. So type was author type, so we don't want the author type directly. New GraphQL list, new GraphQL list, book type, comma, let me have this. Okay, let me write it, or else I will have something wrong. Okay, so resolve parent, comma, args args, not this, args, and then return books dot filter. So we're doing the filter obj dot author ID. Obj dot author ID is triple equal to, we are doing filter, that is important. We're filtering all the book, not finding it. Okay, filtering all the book in which the author ID is equal to parent dot ID. We're filtering all the book, we are passing the object. So we are passing this book object, and we are checking obj.author id is equal to parent.id, means we are in the author, so parent.id it is equal, so author id is equal to this one. So we are checking that. Let me save it, and now let me first check whether there's some error is there. Let me refresh it, then delete it, and then author id is 2, name, age, books, name, GNRE genre, and see, author is Patrick Fergus, age is 44, and only one book he have. Let me have me, so because I have multiple books, so I have multiple books which is passing as an array, so this can be treated as an endpoint. Okay, so this is done. Now if you want all the books in the database or all the author, okay, so okay, so now we will make additional queries. So what if we want all the books in our database? Right now we are passing this argument like this, so we want all the books in our database, or all the authors also we want. So we'll use GraphQL list for that. So let me go back, and root query is there. So here book and authors are there, and now we will have for books and authors. Okay, so authors is there, author is there. Now we'll have for books, and the type will be new GraphQL list, and so the list is very good thing which gives us an array of object. So book type, comma, again we don't want any args here because we are not passing anything. Resolve, we are not passing any id or something. Resolve parent, comma, args, return books. Okay, return books. Similarly, I don't want to copy it. Authors, type is again new GraphQL list, and this will be author type, comma, resolve parent, comma, args, and return authors. Okay, return authors is done. Let me save it now, and now we got any error? No, it is running. Yeah, it is running. Yeah, and now we have to do a refresh as always. Okay, this refresh is very important, or else it doesn't know about the new things which have changed. So books, yeah, see it is showing me books, name, GENRE genre, name and genre I am giving. Yeah, it is giving me all the books in an array, name and gender. Okay, so similarly I'll give the authors, okay, name, age, and books also I can give name. So actually we have already created this, so books are also coming here. Okay, so we have already created this schema here earlier. This author type have that thing, so this additional things also will be coming. Okay, so now it is we are done with this. Okay, so so let's started. So we will be using MLab for this deployment. So you can use MongoDB Atlas also, because MLab has been migrated to Atlas, but I have earlier done it through here. So let me show it from here only. You can, the process is almost similar to what I have found in Atlas, because I have used the MongoDB Atlas a lot, because MLab was a small company which was purchased by MongoDB recently. So I already have some things here. Once you log in, then you can do a create new here, and then it will ask you something like virtual network for deployment, display name. Okay, this is something new. Okay, let me give my name, and it is choosing this already for me. And okay, let me take Mumbai, because I generally take Mumbai because it is nearest to me. The lag will be less. So take a region which is very nearest to you, and then after that I think I have to create it here, create new environment. Okay, and then creating environment is done. Okay, so they made it a bit earlier, bit easier than I think, but then also we need to edit it a lot actually. Display name, okay, not edit display name, but a lot of things need to be edited here. Okay, IP range, it is giving me IP ranges actually. I don't want it right. I don't want it like this actually. So it's better to actually, I think they are not allowing anymore. Okay, see, even if I go to the home, the deadline for migrating to MongoDB Atlas, they are showing me this. So means they are not allowing anything anymore. See, even if I am doing this, they're not allowing me to do a lot of things. So let me go to the MongoDB Atlas and let us do the same thing there. So I know the process there. So MongoDB, we need to go here, MongoDB Atlas. I already have an account, so let me connect from there only. So here the process is a bit different. So I will be presented with this. So I have to do a new project here. Let me name the project as GraphQL React. Then next I will do, I am the project owner. Okay, and then I have to do a build a cluster. This cluster free one, I will choose AWS is okay, but the region should be Mumbai, not something else. For you, choose upon your region, whatever you're close to Sydney or in Australia, Singapore, US, Europe. Choose according to that, because the latency will be less. Okay, so create cluster, and the cluster will get created. So it generally takes time, and in this we have to do two things. So the network access and database access, these two things we have to do, and then only we can work on it. Okay, so for that time, let it get connected. I will connect after that. Now that the cluster is done, now what we need to do, we need to first go to the network access. Okay, add IP address, and then allow access from anywhere, because we are doing it in development. So I will do this, confirm. Okay, so confirm is done. Let us go to the database access now and add database user, and this I generally give admin, okay, and this you should auto generate secure password, but you have to show it and copy it somewhere. Anyways we're going to use it here, so I will copy it here. Anyways I'm going to delete it soon, this, because this is not secure to show this. Okay, so admin and this, and then you have to come down here and add the user. Now the user is added, you have to go back to the clusters, and here connect, you have to go connect your application, copy this. Okay, so I have copied this. After that, okay, after that we need one more thing, which is let me I've copied this, and I want to check one thing. Do we have mongoose in our project? No, we don't have mongoose, so we have to install mongoose also. So how to do install it? So again, control J. So let me clear it, and then npm I, because we are using this mongoose to connect to MongoDB. MONGOOSE, mongoose. So I have done this mongoose. Okay, it is done. Control J, and then we have to use that string which we have just got. Okay, so this we have to use. So how we are going to use it? Okay, another thing, so control X, password I have to give, and database name, whatever database name I want to create, I have to give that. So let us give it GraphQL react db. Okay, so this all the thing, let me cut it from here, and I have to do mongoose dot connect, and in a string we have to pass. Okay, we have not done 2-3 things here. The first thing which we have not done is const mongoose equal to require mongoose. So this is the old way of importing which we are doing. We can use a new way also. I've shown that in my earlier I will show that soon in the, actually I have not shown it yet. I will show that soon in the MongoDB build. So we can use the react like import statements here also, but it is better to know the old way also. Okay, so this is not like this, this is not caps, this is the small thing which we have just done, mongoose.connect, and then after that we have to do mongoose dot connection dot once open. Once it is open, then CLG will work. Yeah, CLG will work, and we will pass something connected to database. Okay, connected to database we are passing, and everything is, let me check once again. Yeah, everything is okay. If I save now, and if I go back, I am getting a lot of errors. Okay. Fail to connect to server. First connect MongoDB authentication failed. Why does this authentication failed? This authentication is failed. It is showing me connect mongoose.connect connection.ons connection.once. Okay, let me check it out. So what I found out, when we are using a MongoDB Atlas, we have to connect in a different way than what we used to do in MLabs. So connection URL is okay, you can pass it out connection URL here, but it's better to create a connection URL, and then this 2-3 parameters we have to do, and simply like that you can connect. Okay, I don't want this, I don't know why this was entered. Okay, so like this it is done, and if I go back there is no errors. Okay, so it is done, and now we will go back here and we will create the schemas for our MongoDB schemas. So we will create a folder, for that. Inside the server we will create a folder known as models. Okay, so what we are doing, we are creating the MongoDB schema right now. Okay, so models we are doing, and then inside that two files, one is book.js and the other is author.js we will create. So these two files we will create, and then after that let us again include some things here. So I want, the first thing which I want is the mongoose in both of them. Actually both of them I would require, and then I will require this schema actually. So this schema, how to do that schema, so const chem schema equal to mongoose dot schema, mongoose dot schema I have done. Okay, so let us create both of them at the same time. Okay, so after that const let us create the book schema, because we are in the book schema first. So const book schema, const book schema equal to new not like this, new schema, new schema, and I think I spelled it right. Yeah, spelled it right. And then book will be, name will be, so here for mongoose we have to have this string, so that GraphQL string is a different thing. Okay, so that is for GraphQL, this is for mongoose. General is string, and author ID is again string. Author ID is again string. Okay, author ID is again a string, but so book schema isn't. But the thing which is remaining is to see, just like we exported it here, we have to export it here. So module.export we have to do. So module.export is again the control P, let me do, so we have more space. So module.exports equal to mongoose dot model book comma book schema. Okay, so this is done, and let me see some error. Now there's a lot of errors are coming, so no errors are there. So like similarly, like the author schema also we have to make. So const author schema, author schema equal to new schema string, age is a number. Okay, name is a string and age is a number, as we have already done earlier also. So this should match here, means whatever is a string it should be string, whatever is number it should be number. So age was a number, so it should match that. Okay, so after that module.exports equal to mongoose dot model author, and author schema is there. Okay, let me save it. Yeah, the changes were, see, this restarting is done by node1. So this great thing is there in node1, or else every time we have to restart the server. Okay, so this is done. Now we need to go back to our schema.js, where we will remove all the this dummy data, but I'm not going to remove it. I'm going to means we are soon going to have mutation through which we will pass this to the database. I'm just commenting it out. The reason is that I don't want to type it again, so I'm commenting it out. And let me do this thing so that it is like this, so that it is not disturbing us when you don't want it to be disturbed. So I removed the dummy data, and now the thing is there, we have to remove all the return statements. So instead of removing, it's better to comment them out. So let me comment them out. So every return statement I am commenting it out. Return statement commenting it out, because we were getting it from our local only. Okay, so return statements commenting it out, return books commenting it out, return authors commenting it out. And now we'll have a mutation. So mutation in GraphQL term, it is something which is like a post request in which we give some data to the database which is stored. So that is known as mutation. So let us have a mutation now. After this, we'll have the mutation const mutation equal to new GraphQL object type, and name will be mutation, comma, fields will be add author. So we are now only adding the author. So this type will be, okay, type will be author type. So this type will be this author type which we have created earlier. So all this ID, name and age, these things we need in the GraphQL terms. Okay, so this is done, author type. Then aux is name, type is GraphQL string, so name we are passing, and the age we are passing, type is GraphQL int, the type will be that GraphQL int. Okay, and then we'll have this resolve as in all of them scale. So this resolve will be there. So earlier what we were doing, that is known as query in GraphQL. So all these things, they are queries we were doing in GraphQL, and it gives the data. And mutation, I have to add that data. It is like if you do the SQL thing, it is like insert, and that is like select. And if you do the Node.js thing, that is like get, this is like post. Let author equal to new author, name is aux.name, age is aux.age. No, not this I don't want, just it is aux. Okay, this is wrong, args, it is args, and this is also args, aux.age, and after return author dot save. So this save is the function given to us. So author dot save, we are doing this new author, and we are doing is author dot save. Okay, so another thing, this is not author type, this is just author, new author, just no author type. Okay, so type out. So sometimes this autocomplete, because it's autocomplete, we face a lot of problem because of this autocomplete sometimes. So if I have not seen this, would have been passed as author. So then comma, you have to pass the mutation. So like query was the root query, so mutation is the mutation. I hope did spell it rightly, right? Yeah, so mutation. Now first let me see whether there is an error. No, there is no error. So let me go back to my GraphQL, and now we will add the mutation. Okay, so let me remove it, and let me do the, so mutation, we have to write this mutation, then inside this we have to do add author is there, name. So it is better to add my name first, Bindu Vishwas, comma age, my age is 38, and then I want to return the name and age. So if everything is right and we didn't do anything wrong, this will be added in the database. Author is not defined, we are getting the message author is not defined. Yeah, and okay, yeah, we are right, author is not defined because we have not imported it actually. So let me go back to the schema. So where is the author? So this is the author, we are passing it, this is the book. So we have not yet created for book, but let me add it, const book equal to require, so models book, and see, it is important we pass it as whatever we are using it as that, const author equal to require models, and author, we are going, hope it will work. Let me go back here, let me refresh it, let me pass it, and add author is done correctly. So even we can go to a database and check whether it was done or not. So we have to go to the collection, and retrieving, it is way too slow. Okay, so author is done. So let us complete this part by adding the book also, the book mutation also, and actually some more is remaining, so I will complete it in the part 2. So author is done. So now we will add the mutation for the book. So let me come down here. So book we have already imported it because we are getting the error, so imported it. So let me come down here, and the mutation, so mutation again we will go inside the mutation just like we were having the root query, and the add author is this. So as you might have guessed, there will be add book. So inside the fields only we will have, so I have to give a comma here, and the thing is will be called add book. To save some time I will copy thing, but I'm again worried that it will break a lot of things, but it's okay, let us take that chance. Add book, so type will be book type. Okay, type will be book type, which we already have, and this thing should be similar to that, name, gender and author. Now let me do one thing. So book type is there, so it can be different, so why not copy it? Name, gender, I will copy it from here. Okay, so let me come down. Okay, this is the book type, name, gender, and we also have a connection between the book and the author, so let us do that connection also. That is, that connection name is author ID. Is it, I am spelling it right or not? Okay, I have done it like this now. Yeah, author ID, type is GraphQL ID, GraphQL ID, so which we have already imported. GraphQL ID type is author ID, is type is GraphQL ID. Okay, and then this is done here, args is done, resolve it will not be an author, it will be a book, and new book, and here name is okay, args.name, then there is no age, it is GENRE. Okay, I'm taking name, gender, and author ID, so okay, and this will be like this, name, gender, and then last thing will be this author ID. So these things we are passing to the database, author ID, args dot author ID I am passing. So let me save it, and it is not author dot save, it will be this book dot save. Let me save it, and let me check. Okay, I want the dummy data now because I will copy my book. Okay, so again we are coming here and we are refreshing it. Mutation, I need the mutation. Add book, I will do. Oh, one more thing is remaining. I don't know why I did that. I needed the author ID from there, so we don't have the query right now, so it will be difficult to get it. Okay, then we'll do one more thing again. So we will again create a add author, and we'll not forget it this time, so I will add my name later on. Okay, so something else like name is this, let us take it in order. So name will be age will be 44, I think I am right, and name age not in the same line, name age again not in the same line, age I think I have to press it more harder. Okay, so add author. Oh, okay, so okay, one more thing we can do, this author ID. So this ID, what is this ID? This ID is from the MongoDB atlas. So if I go here and if I refresh it, I should have two authors now. Okay, but what is the author ID? So that ID we were earlier created manually, like ID1, ID2, but now the ID is this ID which you're seeing, this object ID. This one is the ID. So I can take my book itself. Okay, add book. Add book, I will do name will be Foundation Gatsby project, comma GENRE will be, I don't want this, and let me have this one. Genre will be programming, comma author. We have to pass the author ID. So author ID, what is the author ID? The author ID is the ID which is the for that author. So it is already been created, so it is this ID. So Hanna Bindu, it will be this. Okay, and then I have to go back here and paste that. And name GENRE, genre. I hope it is right, and it is returning, means it is right, and because I am returning the name and the genre. And so if it is done, then let me refresh it. And see, books is also created, and books is also created, and it is also linked to the author ID. So we are done actually. And as I've told, this is getting very large, so I will continue in the part 2 of the series. So hope we have done mostly with the backend. So what we are going to do next, we are going to now work on the front end mainly. Yeah, some backend stuff is also remaining, so that also we need to complete, and then we have to work on the front end. So front end, not much work is there in React. Means this which we have done, this is a lot of things which we have done, because see, and this adds to the complexity. As you might know, you will create a normal MERN project, as I have told earlier also. If you are doing it for a client or a small client, do go to MERN, because this is additional. We have to do the GraphQL also, and we have to do the this also that's Node.js also, schemas and all those schemas we're creating 2 times. So that is there, but that is okay. Means it's give the so much performance improvement over REST API, which is that's why this is the future, and you have to learn it slowly. So hope you like this, and I will be publishing the part 2 soon. So see you then.